Welcome to On the Road with MattyRocks, on locations at Neisens in Savage, Minnesota, joined by special guest Steve Blaze, creator, visionary, and lead guitarist for the band Lillian Axe. Steve, thanks for joining me, and welcome to Minnesota.
Thank you very much. Good to see you, man.
Here you are on the America Rock Summer Tour, 2012. It looks like it's a many-leg tour.
It's great, man. We're having a good time with it. All the guys in the other bands are great. Everybody's getting along real well. It's as much as you could imagine with these knuckleheads. It's a family type environment, but they're all hilarious, funny guys, and we're getting along real well. And everybody leaves the show very satisfied. So it's going real well so far.
Very nice. Let's go back to the early years of Steve Blaze. Give MattyRocks listeners an insight to how music came into your life.
Well, I started playing guitar when I was 6. Basically, it was forced on me because my parents bought me a classical guitar for my 6th birthday, and immediately started taking lessons, classical and flamenco lessons, which I did for several years. And then when I was around 10 or 11 years old, my dad and I were watching in concert, saw Alice Cooper on TV, and I started getting into Black Sabbath, and I started listening to radio, AM radio, and listening to all the top hits of like 1972 and learning all the great songwriters, Elton John and Brad and James Taylor and Simon and Garfunkel and all these great writers, and that's where I really started to develop my ear for songwriting and creating great songs. And then listening to Cooper and Queen and Sabbath and Van Halen, Aerosmith, all the early bands. In my high school years, that's why I realized that I wanted to play. When I saw Alice on TV, it was amazing, and I was like, I got to be in a band like that. And so I haven't stopped since.
Very nice. At the young age of 21, you formed Lillian Axe. How did the project come to be? How did it take shape? What started the whole ball rolling? Well,
I had gotten involved in when I first, at the end of high school, I started getting in local bands, like doing covers and doing Styx and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Sabbath and Van Halen. And really, that's when I started really developing my chops. And so I started writing, and I was in a band called Crimson in high school. We were doing Foreigner and all that stuff. Then I joined another existing band. They didn't have a name, so we named the band Oz. And then went on to have a couple of band member changes and started getting popular, and changed the name of the band to Lillian Axe in like October of '83. So we just started playing a lot, and we were doing a lot of metal and stuff, and nobody else was doing it, and we were really good at what we were doing, and we had a good look, and we started doing a lot of our own material, and we just built it up for like 4 years of playing the regional circuit and traveling and spreading the name. And that's when we got asked to do 4 shows with Rat, Queensryche, and Poison, and we got discovered by Rat's manager, and then got us our first deal from there.
Right on. We'll talk a little bit about Robin Crosby here in a second here.
Excellent.
Where was the name Lillian Axe derived from? Because everyone's got a story of how their name comes about, but where did Lillian Axe come from?
I was inspired by a movie, Stephen King movie called Creepshow. And there was a scene at the very beginning of the movie with a bridesmaid skeleton kind of dancing in this little boy's window. And it just inspired to come up with a creepy old lady name, And so it really just really hit me real quick. I can remember the street corner. I was on Veterans and Houma Boulevard in Metairie. And when it hit me, and I was like 3 blocks from the singer's house, and I just went right to his house and told him the name of the band, and everybody just absolutely loved it. So,
cool story. Talk about some musical influences who have helped shape who Steve Blaze is today.
Well, it started off, classical music, learning how to play Jose Feliciano songs and stuff. But, in the rock genre, Alice Cooper, Queen, Scorpions, Sabbath, Aerosmith. But a lot of my influences were, like I was mentioning earlier, songwriters. James Taylor, Brad, Simon and Garfunkel, Gordon Lightfoot, Elton John, Don McLean, all these guys with big hits, and a lot of one-hit wonder songs. Bee Gees,
right.
Early Bee Gees stuff. I mean, the melodies and the songs were just so beautiful and catchy and powerful, and so that's where it was. And now I listen to everything. Like some of my favorite bands, I love Muse, and that's one of my probably favorite bands over the last 10 years. But I like Chevelle and Shinedown, and I like some of the new stuff, which is really just derivative of the old stuff. But I'm still, fans of all the bands back then, even the guys on this tour, Great White, Faster Pussycat. I mean, all the bands on this tour, listen to everything. I really listen to a lot of stuff. And but always revert back to my classical roots. I love soundtracks. I buy soundtracks to different records. I mean, to movies. I listen to that. That's where I get my sense of melody and depth and power from, I think, more than anything.
Cool. Very nice. Early on, Lillian Axe catches the eye of Robin Crosby. He helps produce your first self-titled Lillian Axe CD.
Right.
How cool was that to have Robin as a part of that project?
It was great because not only was he a really nice guy, but we were huge Rat fans, and they were, kings of the castle at that point. So having that name and that experience, it was great. And he was a wonderful guy too. So he knew he liked the band and he knew what he wanted to do, and very humble individual. But I think he did a great job on the first record.
Were you close to Robin throughout the years up to his death?
I really, to be honest with you, after we did the record, I saw him once in a while. That was about it. We'd talk every now and then, but I guess he was kind of going into that downward spiral. Last time I had talked to him was actually while he was sick in the hospital, and he downplayed it. I guess you heard about my health issues, and I was like, yeah, I'm praying for you, bro, and anything I can do. And then he passed away. It was terrible.
An amazing talent, definitely missed.
Absolutely.
A lot of accomplishments with Lillian Axe throughout the years. Massive radio airplay, 4 MTV videos, label signing, selling over 500,000 albums, and the recent 2010 induction to Louisiana Rock Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
how cool was that?
Music Hall of Fame was great, and actually we've sold over 1 million records. So I mean, it's we've got 11 records. I mean, so it adds up. But we've never had the huge commercial success that I think we deserve by far. But we've had great success because it's been very realistic and it's been solid, and our fans are always with us. It's a great thing. We're all like this weird cult following we have. But the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame thing, that was in 2010. Huge honor. That was one of those things that makes you sit back and say, you know what, I can die now.
Right.
We're the first rock band to be inducted, and being in our home state like that, it's a huge honor. So we wear the badge proudly.
Very nice. Why the hiatus for Lillian Axe early on?
I kind of wish in retrospect we hadn't done that, but we needed to. So it was more or less like, I think it was everybody was burnt. The music industry was starting down into the toilet route, and I think a few of the guys at the time wanted to try other musical things, and I was starting to really full speed ahead into taking Lillian to the absolute next level, longer songs, deeper, darker stuff, and I think it kind of freaked some of them out a little bit. And so we decided, I'm like, look, this is the stuff, man. This is what I'm writing, Fields of Yesterday and Become a Monster and stuff like that. And, it was the direction that we were going to. And so a couple of the guys I think it scared them a little bit. And everybody was burnt, so we just went and did some other musical things for a few years and then got back together in 99 and haven't stopped since.
Right on. 11 studio albums to date, like you said. Which album stands out to you as the special project, the one you're most proud of?
The new one, the new album, yeah.
Really
I think
good.
that, thank you. I think that it's every single, I'm proud of all the records, but there was always one little thing here or there about them that, I kind of maybe wish we'd changed. On this one, the whole package, it's perfect. New singer, Brian, taking it to a new level. I think it's some of the best writing I've done in a long time. Sylvia Massey mixing it, having my little boy talking on it. It was just like, it was just perfect.
Wondered who that voice was.
Yeah, that's my son. He's 3 now, but he says the impossible is born on it, yeah.
There you go. Are these albums the pinnacle of Lillian Axe, or is that project yet to come?
The pinnacle, I will never hit the pinnacle. I think it's going to be continual rise all the time. I'm already working on the next record, which I think will blow this one away. So we'll see, man.
Very nice. I found this interesting, and I wanted to bring this up. I'm a big Christmas music lover, okay? And I dug this up that Lillian Axe covered Anna Nancy Wilson's Here is Christmas cover. Mm-hmm. Yep. What prompted that?
Actually, the label IRS at the time came to us and said, hey, we're getting ready to do a Christmas record, but we need something from you guys. And they gave us like 40, 50 songs to pick from, and they were all horrible. And so this was the only one that we said, this really fits what the band's about. It's very similar. And so we did a great version of it, man.
We did.
Ron sang it amazingly. And we went to this little studio. It was called the Kitchen Sink. And it was about the size of the kitchen sink. And we went in there in 2 days and knocked it out. And, it got some radio play overseas. And, it people, it's kind of an underground. There you go,
Right.
cult kind of song, and but it's really good. But yeah, I'm a Christmas. I love, man.
Right.
I listen to Christmas carols all year round. So
Well, you guys definitely did it justice. Any comments from Ann or Nancy Wilson on it?
I don't even know if they know we did it.
Right.
You know, and the sad part about it is one of my old soundmen works for them, but I don't even know if he's ever brought it up to him or not. So
Cool. Great story.
thanks.
You've had some lineup changes throughout the years. Talk about the current lineup and what do they bring to the table for you?
Well, Sam and Ken have been with me for like 12 years now, and Eric's been with me for 6 or 7. So, you know, even though they're not the original members, that, you know, that longevity of having guys in a band that long is longer than most bands ever exist. But with Brian and the new singer Brian, the chemistry is just wonderful. It really is. It always has been. You know, there have never been, you know, throwdowns or fights that led to somebody leaving or whatever. It's never been like that. It's just been people moving on. But I think we're the most solid and together ever. Right
I don't
now.
think you've missed a beat.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I don't think you have.
Thanks.
Steve, what keeps you going all these years and fuels you to continue doing what you're doing?
I guess it's just part of my nature. I'm a born-again Christian, and so, you know, I know that this is a gift God gave me. Fortunately, everybody's got their gifts, and I get to reach people and make a difference through the music, and it allows me to express. You know, where some people paint, some people ride motocross, some people fish, whatever you need for that outlet to express who you are. Playing, writing music, traveling, meeting people, doing albums. It's all part, and it lets me meet a lot of people, and it lets me express. You know, like I write songs about people I care about and the things I care about, and that's it allows me to do that.
Very nice. Keep it up.
I will. Thank you very much.
You have the opportunity to address MattyRocks listeners all throughout the United States and the country, or the world, who are going to listen to this interview. If you had one thing to say to them, what would it be?
I would say it all starts within your soul and your spirit. We're not going to be here forever. Get that right. You know, come to terms with that, whether you're a Christian or not, whatever. I am, and I'm proud to say it. But get that right, and everything else will fall into place. And I appreciate all the support that we've gotten from our fans.
Right on. Let MattyRocks listeners know where they can keep up with everything you're doing, as well as
Sure.
everything else the band is doing.
Go to LillianAxe.com. We have a lot of stuff going on. We're getting ready to do a live Unplugged album and a live Unplugged DVD. We have in conjunction with the Air Force, we're doing a program where the guitar that I'm playing, one of my personal guitar models, is being auctioned off in November to raise money for some of the fallen troops. And they can go to LillianAxe.com and find out how they can donate and win a chance. And all the news is right there. Just Google us, man. We find out more than you care about. You know.
You've heard of MattyRocks listeners. Go to those sites and check out the band and what they're doing.
Yeah, if I can give the air, it's called www.airforceguitar.com. That's the website to go to.
All right, thank you. Steve, it's been an honor sitting with you, and thanks for taking the time out of your busy tour schedule to do this interview. Continued success to all of you, and Lillian Axe. You've heard it here, MattyRocks listeners, on the road with MattyRocks with Steve Blaze. Thanks again.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me, man.
And MattyRocks out.
Hi, this is Steve Blaze of Lillian Axe, and you're rocking on RadioRiff.com.